Rivers, after his Bucks lost yesterday for the 8th time in their final 11 games to fall to the 3 seed in a first-round matchup against the Pacers, who beat them 4 out of 5 times this season. Listen to Doc.
Indiana has had our number all year, right? So, perfect opponent. You know, listen, we got to play somebody, and they're tough. They've played great against us. They have probably great confidence against us. We'll have great focus because we're going to have to.
Yeah, the Bucks are still favored to win this series over the Pacers and favored to win Game 1 by 3 points at home. So Rick Bucher back with us. Will the Bucks win at least one playoff series?
I would not bet on it.
I'm with you.
I would bet against the Milwaukee Bucks in this situation. The Indiana Pacers come in rolling. They've won 6 of their last 8. Meanwhile, Milwaukee has lost 6 of their last 8. Milwaukee's great weakness is if you've got athletic, quick wings, you're in trouble because they defensively struggle with that. And that's what the Indiana Pacers have. If I'm looking at the coaching matchup between Rick Carlisle and Doc Rivers, I'm going to go with Rick Carlisle. So I don't say this with any joy because I'd like to see Damian Lillard playing in meaningful games in a deep run, but I just don't see it with this Milwaukee. Look, it's the old saying, if somebody shows you who they are or tells you who they are, believe them. And the Milwaukee Bucks have told us we're not a very good defensive team. We haven't figured out this combination between Damian Lillard and Giannis. And so we are not the team that we have been in the past. And I just, the Pacers are coming in on a roll. And the Milwaukee Bucks are very much not.
Yeah, they're 1-4 in the regular season, as Doc talked about. But I still hold out hope that Milwaukee steps up to the plate and hit a home run because they have to. As Doc thinks, you have to. You made an in-season change at the head coaching position, so you knew it was going to take time to understand what he wanted to implement in the game plan and understand whether it's defensively, offensively, who things go through. And much like you, Rick, I want to see Dame advance and make a deep playoff run, okay? I want to see him be able to do that. And the questions have to be answered. Is this a team that is a true contender, or are they pretenders? And the only way to show that is by going up against the Pacers in the 7-game series, despite what happened in the regular season, and taking care of business. That's the only way.
Showing that you're different.
Showing that you are a different team. Yeah, they have athletic wings. Okay, that's fine. You know that. You've played them enough this season to understand what your strengths are, what your weakness is and what their strength is. So now make that necessary adjustment and take it away. Now, you say you take Rick Carlisle as in this situation over Doc Rivers. Well, Doc heard that. Now he needs to make his adjustments. He heard it.
Yeah.
He knows that people are saying, you can't beat this team, you can't beat this coach. So now let's show us the real reason why you was selected to be the head coach mid-year. This is your opportunity to shine.
Okay, I have to start with Giannis and his pulled calf muscle. Yeah. Because if it's a problem and a factor,
it's over.
We went through the Kevin Durant scenario, finals, pulled calf, rush back, Achilles tears.
Last year.
Yeah, he went through it with Giannis. I don't know, but if he's not there, then this is definitely over.
Yeah, it's over.
Okay, so I have to presume for the sake of argument that he will play and play pretty well. And I look at the outcomes of these 5 games in the regular season, and the first one was just a 2-point win, then it was by 9, then it was by 8, then it was by 12. The one game that Milwaukee won, it took Giannis scoring a Bucks record 64 points for them to win that game. So that would tell me that Indy's just got your number. Like their style doesn't match for you because they push it like crazy. Nobody pushes it harder and faster than the Pacers do, and you just can't keep up with them. They run you off the floor. And I do think without Drew Holiday, I'm his biggest supporter and fan, they lost a little bit of their defensive sort of character and just their culture. Their defensive culture went right out the door when he left. Yeah. So they're not the same. And then Dame, to me, has never looked happy there. I watch, and he just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
He was very happy in Portland, and in part because he was a very big fish in a pretty small pond.
Yeah.
And his family loved it there, and his kids loved it, and now he doesn't have his family with him, apparently, because he talks about how lonesome it gets occasionally in a tough winter town where it gets a little bleak and gray there. And he hasn't shot the ball well at all, so he's 35.6% from three. That ranks 122nd in the league among qualified three-point shooters. That's just not him. That's not what he does. And then yesterday, not that this game was end of the world, but they're trying to cling to the 2 seed, and Dame shoots 2 out of 14 and 0 for 4 from three. Well, it's just not who he is. It's not what you expect, because he does not look happy.
Yeah.
And he and Giannis, as much as they hugged and kissed each other on the cheek before the year started and said, we are made for each other and this is meant to be, it never seems to have clicked, right?
Agreed. And there's a reason that he wanted to go to Miami first, because that was a place where his role was going to be different.
Yep.
Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo weren't going to say, Dame, take us to a championship. They were going to say,
That's true.
Dame,
That's a good point.
help us win a championship. You're going to add a piece that we didn't have here, but we got everything else. We know how to defend, right? We know how to run and keep everybody involved. Like, you just need to give us those big shots and big moments, right?
That's a great point.
Milwaukee is Giannis is like, I've never played with a player as good as you. Here are the keys. Take us there. And Dame's never had to do that, and he's doing it with a group where, I mean, honestly, if I'm Dame, I'm like, you guys have already, you've all won rings. Like, you're a championship team, and now you're asking me to lead you to some place that I've never been before. And then the whole identity thing, I think that is a factor. In Portland, he knew who he was. He knew what his place was in the community.
He did.
The comfort level there
Yes.
was so different from Milwaukee, where I think he's still trying to find his footing. And when you put that with a team that is so bad defensively, that Doc took Malik Beasley out, who may be worse defensively than Damian, and put Patrick Beverley in, like, that is a sign of desperation for where you are, right? And it's a sign of desperation for where the Milwaukee Bucks are at this stage. And that's not a good place to be going into the postseason.
And then the other night, out of the blue, Doc blasts the whole road staff. The whole road staff for, we're not professional enough. What?
And then, like Doc, you're the coach of this team. It ain't like,
come on.
You know, that and this, there's a little too much. I'm setting up an alibi here for when it comes apart. That I don't want to hear that from my head coach at this stage.
And then
Where's Doc going to coach at next year? Huh?
Then, Keyshawn, it would be like the Lakers drawing Sacramento in a first-round 7-game series, because there's just something about Sacramento and the Lakers. I can't figure it out, but they just can't deal with what they are.
7 games is different than one-offs.
It is.
It just,
no, I got it.
One-offs are spread out.
What, 3 of those games were January or earlier?
Yeah.
Dame didn't play in the first one, and one was an in-season
So
tournament.
it's a different.
Yeah, I'm not going to go just by the 4-1.
All right. But the odds makers keep saying, no, Milwaukee should still be favored. Now, I don't see it. I'm with you. I think the Pacers are going to win this in 6 games. You got Bucks still?
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bucks.
All right.
Giannis has to play.
Die hard, Keyshawn.
Has to play and play well.
Okay, we got to discuss this, because if healthy,